How's it going, everybody? Today is Saturday, and there were two very exciting divisional round games. One, of course, was from the AFC, and one, of course, was from the NFC. So I'm going to get into all the details about these games. Of course, there are two more games tomorrow, so be on the lookout for another video. And without further ado, let's get into it. So the first game was at a 1:35 Pacific time for me. And the Rams were playing the Packers. And for me, I kind of consider the Rams my second favorite team, just based on my fandom. And so I was rooting for them. However, I didn't really think they would win this. And because, just the Packers are such a great team this year. And Aaron Rodgers is just a great quarterback. They have the number one offense in the league. The Rams have the number one defense. But the Rams defense was kind of lacking this game. So the Packers won by a final score of 32-18. They led by a lot. They were up by 15 at one point. And, the Rams had a pretty decent comeback, but they just couldn't get it to go. They couldn't. Cam Akers, I'll give him credit. Cam Akers, he had 90 yards rushing on 18 attempts, so about 5 yards average. He had a touchdown. And Jared Goff honestly didn't look that bad. I mean, he averaged about 6 yards. He had a 174 yards passing on 27 attempts. He only incompleted 6 passes, but only 1 touchdown. And the Rams just couldn't really get their offense going. Their defense too, because Aaron Donald was getting, pressed a lot. There were multiple linemen on him. And the Packers, they were just the better team out there. I got to give them credit. And Rodgers had a great game. He was 23 of 36 passing, which obviously wasn't as good as Goff in terms of percentage, but 296 yards for him. The Packers had fans there, and the fans were pretty loud. Davante Adams had a great game. There were some missed opportunities, but good game for the Pack. And yeah, they're going to go to the NFC Championship for the second straight year. Of course, last year they lost to the San Francisco 49ers. This year they will either play the Buccaneers or the Saints, so that'll be a good one to look out for. And yeah, Goff, I mean, you got to give him some credit. He was partly injured. He's playing in a super cold climate in Lambeau Field. So I don't blame Goff. I guess I'd blame the defense, but the Packers, I don't think the Rams were an equal match for him. And so yeah, final score was 32-18. The Packers had 16 points in the second quarter. That was probably their highlight. But Rams really couldn't get anything going on offense, and their defense was not playing up to how they usually do. Donald was limited a lot, like I said. He was actually injured last week against the Seattle Seahawks. Cooper Kupp also, who's a big receiver for the Los Angeles Rams, he did not play. And like I said, Donald had some sort of rib problem in last week's game, so he didn't play as much up to the standards he usually does. And the Packers they just played a better game. Aaron Jones, their run game was phenomenal with Dillon and Aaron Jones, and I believe they had another running back out there. Their running game is really good, and of course the passing game with Davante Adams, who is arguably the best receiver in the league. They have a great tight end and one of the greatest quarterbacks in the league, if not the best, Aaron Rodgers. So great game for the Packers. I see them as a Super Bowl contender. And let's move on to the second game of this one was actually at night. Bills-Ravens. So this game, Buffalo won by a final score of 17-3. Really wasn't that exciting of a game. I guess the notable thing was the Ravens missed 2 field goals. And you got to remember, they have Justin Tucker, who was considered one of the best kickers. Lamar Jackson, he threw an interception, no touchdowns. He was actually injured. And you got to remember, Robert Griffin III and Trace McSorley are also injured. So the Tyler Huntley came in. He had 60 yards, only 13 attempts. And he's a rookie too. So cut him some slack, But the run game for the Ravens is usually pretty good. They have J.K. Dobbins. Their receivers are all right. They have Marquise Brown, Mark Andrews, Willie Snead, and Patrick Ricard at fullback. But they couldn't. Their offense was lackluster in this game. When they had chances, they missed field goals, and when they didn't have chances, they would just punt every time. And Buffalo, I mean, I think a lot of people were expecting Buffalo to win, but 17-3, it just goes to show that their defense played pretty well. I mean, Lamar Jackson was injured, but it was pretty late in the game. Bills had good defense in this game. Stephon Diggs had a touchdown. And Josh Allen went 23 of 37 for 206 yards, so pretty good game. And Buffalo, I mean, I see them as a Super Bowl contender. We'll see what happens. They will either play the Cleveland Browns or the Kansas City Chiefs. So we will see what will happen with that. I think, really with any of these teams, anything could happen. I think all the teams remaining are really good teams and could be seen as contenders. But yeah, there was a 101-yard pick six also by Taron Johnson, which was the longest interception return in NFL postseason history. It tied the longest. So, fun fact for you. And Bills defense stepped up. Offense stepped up. Good game for them, and we will see what happens. Let me know your guys' predictions or thoughts in the comments. And the games tomorrow will be just as interesting, I bet. And there you go, guys. Have a great night, and let's watch some football tomorrow. Peace.